Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Before we get into this very interesting new piece of UFO footage from the recent SpaceX rocket launch, I want to talk about a few things. First of all, and unfortunately, I've been getting a lot of messages from people asking me if I've started a second channel because they are getting notifications and seeing recommended videos from a channel called Secure Team 10, and when they go over to these videos, they don't have many views, but they're new videos. And so I found out that there has been a new wave of copycat channels popping up over the past couple of weeks, where people are basically copying my channel, using variations of my username, SecureTeam10, sometimes with a capital S, and basically stealing everything, re-uploading all of my videos, monetizing them, and, stealing viewership from me and from this channel, and trying to make a buck. And apparently a lot of people have been mistaking these channels for me. So I wanted to let you guys know that, first of all, I only have one channel, and that's this here. It'll only take you 2 seconds to hover over the icon to see, how many subscribers I have and that it is truly me. So if you encounter one of these copycat channels, I would ask you guys to flag them for impersonation and copyright, as I have been doing, and hopefully we'll get these channels shut down. But just wanted to let you guys know it's becoming a problem, and it's just unfortunate that these trolls out here cannot muster even an ounce of original creativity and upload their own content for once in life. But such is life. So moving on, let's get to this UFO footage. And this was actually emailed to me multiple times, and it comes from the live feed of this SpaceX rocket launch. So they launched this rocket on the 30th, and the rocket and the booster had a camera on it. So you could watch it leaving Earth, going up into space, separating, and at one point in the footage, when they're in space, you can see the blackness of space here and the end of the rocket, and at no time in this footage do we see any stars or anything like that. Every now and then we'll see some debris coming off of the rocket. It's obvious debris, but at one point, and as was pointed out to me, we do see something much stranger passing by the rocket. And just as it does, the feed is cut. So you're seeing the clip here, and I want you guys to watch just above the rocket here, right next to this time counter up here in the right-hand corner. So check this out. And there it is. And look how quickly the feed is switched back to this animated view that we're seeing here, which just gives us an idea of where the rocket is as it's moving over the United States and over planet Earth. And I found it very strange that the feed was cut so suddenly at the precise moment that this formation of unknown objects in the distance were seen passing by or were passed by the rocket as they sat there in space. And as you're seeing this close-up and slowed-down view here, I'm going to show you some different filters. These are not debris coming from the rocket. Whatever these things are, these are stationary. They're moving together as one tight unit. And you can see here, as they come in from the top of the frame, you can clearly see we have a formation of 3 reflective objects, making up this triangular shape. And then to the left of this object, we see yet another reflection, another object of some kind. And in fact, just before the feed is switched, it would appear that we may even have another object that just barely enters the frame at the top, just as the feed is switched over. And like I said, this was sent over to me by, at least 20 people who saw this and said, whoa, okay, these are not stars. In no other part of this footage will you see stars, alright? The camera's exposure settings are set as such that they are unable to compensate the faint stars in the background, and that's usually why you never see stars in space footage or photographs, and that is because of the exposure setting on the cameras. When you have something bright, it makes it very difficult to pick up faint stars in the background of space. And as I'm letting this play here, I want you to see how they immediately cut to this animated tracking system for a few moments, almost as if they're giving it just enough time for this UFO to move out of sight before they immediately cut back to the feed of the rocket where we no longer see any unknown objects in sight, and there's nothing there. It's just the darkness of space, and I'm letting this play here just to show you guys that these are not stars. There is nothing else in this footage, and you'll see multiple angles here. Nothing, just the darkness of space. And yet, whatever we just saw earlier before they cut this feed, which again is very suspicious to me, the timing of this feed cut, just as these objects came into view. And you know what this immediately reminded me of? I posted a clip a couple of weeks back of another amazing clip taken from the International Space Station, where all of a sudden, and just like here, we start to see these reflective objects moving in the distance behind the ISS, and you're seeing that here, and it was realized that these lights here, all of these different lights, are obviously a part of one large object passing by the ISS. And you can even see some surface features and reflections in this footage. Look at this. Originally, when I posted it, I thought these were separate objects, just moving in formation. But it was later pointed out by everyone that, hey, this is all a part of something much bigger. This is one ship or one craft, and it would have to be massive. And, you know, that was just an eerie yet very amazing piece of UFO footage. One of the best that I've seen from the space station. And this is very similar to what we're seeing here passing again by in the distance of the SpaceX rocket, another formation of lights that all look to be a part of one object. So the question is this the same thing that was seen passing by the International Space Station? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Now, another piece of UFO footage coming from space, this time courtesy of a camera on the International Space Station, and again taken while the ISS was moving around the dark side of the Earth out of the view of the sun. So all you'll see here is the darkness of space, and you can see the solar panel, which is a part of the space station, and again, you're not only going to see an unidentified object come into view, but this thing actually does a complete 180-degree turn before flying out of sight. So check this out. And there it is. Look at that. If you guys didn't see it, I'll go ahead and replay this here, slowed down. Look at this object, and again, don't give me this ice crystal space debris nonsense, okay? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Space junk or ice crystals, these things, freely moving in space, do not change directions, speeds, or velocity. And they certainly don't make 180-degree turns and display maneuvering similar to what you would see to a fighter jet here on Earth. So you're seeing it again, slowed down. We'll zoom in and follow this thing. And, you know, it's right here. It's plain as day, in your face. Space debris does not do this. And what makes this such a bombshell piece of footage is because we're not just seeing the usual clip of a tumbling ice crystal floating in front of a thruster, where you might see it get blasted and it flies off in a slightly different direction. This thing does a smooth 180-degree turn. And it literally looks like something being piloted. I mean, just look how smooth this turn is. We have no way of knowing how large this thing is. There is no atmosphere in space, so this thing could have been miles away. And, you know, God knows how large. Or it could have been much closer. We just don't know. We can't tell. But you guys look at that, and you tell me that that does not look piloted. So big thanks to the viewer who sent this over. And of course, I'll be keeping an eye open for more of this strange phenomenon happening up in space. And hopefully so, before the feed is cut or changed. Alright, so let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff. And to those of you who are stealing my content and creating copycat channels, I just want you to know that there's no future in it. Alright, because now my viewers know I'm going to have an army of people flagging your shit, and it's going to be ripped down before you can even make a dime. So you've been warned. Move out of your mom's basement, get a real job, or create your own content, and maybe then your parents might be proud of you for once in life. So thank you guys for stopping by today. Share, like, and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you all back here in just a bit.